Welcome to day 4 of the 30-day holiday video challenge. Today we're making easy rolled coffin pizzas. Hi there foodie friends, my name is Carly and welcome to my channel, Adventures in Yum. Before we get into today's video, I have a passion for learning about creating and trying new foods, drinks, and especially desserts. If you want to join me on my yummy adventures, including this challenge, then please make sure to hit subscribe and turn on notifications so that you'll know when I upload new videos every week. Now, let's dive into today's video. We're starting with 3 cups or 420 grams of all-purpose flour in a large mixing bowl. To the flour, we're adding 1 tablespoon of baking powder and 3/4 teaspoon salt. Give that a quick whisk and then add 1 cup or about 245 grams of sourdough starter discard and about 3/4 cup or 177 milliliters of whole milk. We then use a rubber spatula to mix this together until it mostly comes together, and then we use our clean hands to bring the rest of the dough together in one cohesive ball of dough. Stop mixing at this point. Unlike bread, we do not want to knead and mix this dough too much because it will result in a tougher dough and it will be harder to roll out. The dough for this recipe is so easy to whip up, and the best part is that it's a way to use sourdough discard. If you don't have sourdough discard, you should be able to use buttermilk or Greek yogurt instead. You may just need to slightly adjust the amount of whole milk that you add to the dough. We then transfer the dough to our work surface. I personally like to use parchment paper to line my work surface when rolling out dough like this, but it's totally up to your personal preference. If your dough is still a little sticky, you may need to slightly flour your surface. We're then rolling the dough into a large, flat rectangle. It's okay if it's not a perfect rectangle. I rolled it as flat as I could get it, probably about 1/8 of an inch or so. If it feels like the dough starts to get a little harder to roll out and even looks like it might be kind of shrinking back a little, let it just rest on your work surface for a few minutes. Once we've rolled it out, we spread tomato sauce over the entire sheet of dough. You can certainly use homemade tomato sauce or sauce from a can that you jazz up with some herbs and spices. Personally, when I'm whipping up some quick pizza at home and I'm not really in the mood to put together tomato sauce, I like to simply use jarred pasta sauce. I don't have an exact measurement for how much sauce I used here, but for all 8 rolled pizzas in this video, I used about 3/4 of a 24-ounce jar, which is approximately 18 ounces or about 510 grams of pasta sauce. Once we're done spreading the sauce, we're using a chef's knife to cut the dough into 8 long strips. Try your best to make them as even as possible so that they'll bake more evenly. We're then sprinkling a generous amount of shredded mozzarella cheese over the top of the sauce. Like with the sauce, I didn't measure how much I used for this, so just measure it with your heart or until there is a light layer of cheese completely covering all of the sauce. To get our fun pan ready, we spray the wells with cooking spray and wipe off any excess on top. Next, we're adding our pizza toppings. For the first 2, I decided to do a loaded pepperoni, so I added a bunch and made sure they were all slightly overlapping so it would roll a little bit easier. Sprinkle a little more mozzarella over the pepperoni, and then we grab one end and tightly roll the dough. For the next couple of rolls, I did a pepperoni and black olive combination. Personally, black olives are my absolute favorite pizza topping. Drop in the comments what your favorite pizza topping is because I'd love to know. Once we're done rolling, we carefully transfer it to one of the wells in our pan and gently press it down and shape it into the coffin shape. I found this Nordic ware pan at Joann's and just couldn't help myself. It was too cute not to get. You can do the same recipe probably in a skull pan. I haven't tried it, but I'd be curious, and even just a large cupcake pan. Before we finish these super tasty Halloween pizzas, if you're getting value out of this video, then please make sure to hit that like button, click subscribe, and ring that bell to be notified about my latest video. We're now adding some more of the pasta sauce and spreading it across the top of each rolled pizza, followed by even more shredded mozzarella cheese. You can certainly stop here and pop it into the oven, but I decided to add a couple of little black olive spiders to the top as well. To make these, you just cut a black olive in half lengthwise and use one of the halves for the body of a spider. For the legs, cut a black olive in half lengthwise and then cut each half widthwise into 4 strips. Basically, one olive will be the 8 legs of the spider. We arrange the legs around 1/2 olive body for each spider. Once we're happy with our little spiders, we sprinkle a little bit more cheese. I decided to use shredded sharp cheddar for this part. Make sure your spiders are not completely hidden by the cheese. We then are baking this at 400 degrees Fahrenheit or 204 degrees Celsius for about 30 minutes or until the cheese is nice and caramelized on top and the dough is a lovely golden brown. When it's ready, resist the temptation to immediately take one out of the pan and let it sit for a couple of minutes. Letting it sit for a few minutes before removing it will make it easier to transfer to your plate. Pillowy soft on the inside and a light crust on the outside make these a scrumptious and fun dinner. You can also find these delectable pizzas on my website, adventuresinYum.net. The link is in the description below. Make sure to come back tomorrow for day 5, where we will be sharing some cupcake decorating ideas. If you are interested in checking out some of the products I used in this video, then please make sure to check out the video description below for their Amazon links. Thank you so much for joining me today, foodie friends. I'll see you next time for another spooky, cute, yummy adventure.